welcome to my studio and welcome to another week with Dala Creative TV. So this week I am going to play with Dala's new flow acrylic medium. It is used for acrylic pouring. Now I have to tell you that I've only done this once before on a very small canvas, and I decided that I'm not going to practice or perfect this before I do the video, because the purpose of this classes is for everybody to learn, and especially those new to art and new to acrylic pouring. So I did my pour. This is the canvas that I will demonstrate in the video, and it turned out very beautiful. I love the colors, but unfortunately I used way too much paint and most of the cells from the silicone oil dripped off the sides. If you zoom in, you can see quite a few tiny little cells, but overall it still looks pretty and I'm very happy with the result. So let's get going and make an acrylic pour canvas.
For today's lesson, we are going to use Dala's Flow acrylic medium and work on a stretched canvas. We will also need some silicone oil, and I also have a bottle of water right next to me. If you don't have silicone oil, you can substitute it with a belt lubricant or Q20. We will also need paper cups and latex gloves, popsicle sticks and some plastic pipettes. And I also have some straws. Today we are going to use Dala's craft acrylics. Today I am going to paint in hues of blue and green, and I will also add some white to my painting. I am putting each color in a cup so that I can mix it individually with the pouring medium. I will now add the pouring medium in a ratio of 1/3 of pouring medium to 2/3 of paint. I will now give it a stir and make sure that it is mixed thoroughly. It is important to remember that you first mix the paint with the pouring medium and then add the water to get the right consistency. This part of the process will most definitely test your patience. Adding little bits of water at a time to make sure that it is not too thin. The silicone oil will not form any cells if your paint is too thick. It will remain trapped under the layers of paint. And if your paint is too thin, it will simply run off the sides. The trick is to mix until you get a consistency of warm honey. When you lift your popsicle stick, the paint must run off slowly, not drip. This part of the process took the most time, but it is absolutely vital that the paint consistency is correct. After mixing what felt like forever, I think my paint consistency is almost right. I am just going to go through each color to double check and make sure that the paint is not too thick. using screws at the back to elevate my canvas from my table so that the pouring medium can drip off over the sides. Okay, so I think we are going to do a dirty pour. Dirty pour is simply a term for mixing more than one paint color in the same container before adding it to the canvas. Now, before I dispense my paint into the dirty pour cup, I am going to add the silicone oil. 3 to 4 drops of silicone oil per 50 milliliter of paint will form beautiful cells on your canvas. One thing that I've learned with my very first pour is that more silicone oil does not necessarily mean more cells. The cells depend more on the consistency of the paint than the actual silicone oil. So you might want to experiment with different consistencies when you do your acrylic pour. It is important not to stir the silicone oil. You do not want the oil cells to break, so you simply move the popsicle stick just once or twice. I am going to start with the white paint and add the colors layer by layer until I have enough to do the flip cup. I am ready to pour my paint. I think my light blue paint was a little bit too thin, but let's see what happens. I flip the cup onto the canvas and wait a few minutes to make sure that all the paint runs off the sides of the plastic cup. The outcome of any pour is unpredictable, so here's to hoping it'll be a success. Wow, just look at all these beautiful colors. I am very pleased with my painting so far, but let's see where this takes us. Flipping the canvas from side to side, and as the paint flows, I can see all the beautiful cells that the silicone oil is forming. Now this is most definitely going to be a messy business because the paint is going to run off the sides. I just love how almost everything changes as you move the canvas around. Unfortunately, I had too much paint in this cup and all my beautiful cells dripped off the sides with the paint. I am now going to do some controlled pouring to create different effects on my painting. I am going to pour a few lines in the different paint colors at the bottom of the painting and see what happens if I flip the canvas around. I am getting some really cool effects with this controlled pour, but unfortunately no cells because the paint layers are just too thick. torch will remove the air bubbles from your paint, but it is not necessary to use it, especially if you don't have one. I am going to pour some more paint because I am really curious to see what will happen. I am now going to add some white paint with the plastic pipette, simply because I am curious to see what is going to happen. So I added more paints and turned my canvas around a few times, and I think I am done. I am happy with the outcome. Even though I lost most of my cells, it is still a beautiful painting, and hopefully in the next pouring lesson we will get more cells. See you next week. Bye for now.